Um, 2, 3, 3. I swear, like 27.3 times 10 to the power of minus 3. Is that not the same as 0.00237?
You have the right idea. that is what it would be if it was 2.73. So 27.3. It's going like that.
Right, okay.
And then you fill in the blanks.
Sure.
So what's that going to be?
So that would be 1, so 2, 3. So the decimal points moved back 3 places.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes it minus 3. Like the power is minus 3. So with this one, 2.7, 1, 2, 3. They're both the same.
So let's say, what is the first one?
So the first one is writing it in non-standard form.
Yeah.
So that would just be 2, 7, 3, 0.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we did the second one. Third one?
Third one is 2, 7, 3. Oh, God. That's 2.
What is 10 squared?
Just 10 times. It's 2 zeros basically.
Yep.
So 10 times. Yeah. So 2 zeros. No,
Yep. Just stick 2 zeros on. It's like 100 times
right.
100. And then the last one is already done.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in that case, the smallest number is going to be the last one.
Yep.
So that's the smallest number, and then next up would be 27 point the minus 3, the power of minus 3. So 27.3 times 10 to the power of minus 3, and then after that, it will be 2,730.
Yeah. And so they said write these numbers in order of size.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah, of course. Getting more confused. So we've got the last one.
So instead of saying 2730, we'll write it
Yeah,
as they gave it to us.
sure. Okay.
And then there's only one possibility left.
Yeah.
Go on, what is
Which is 273 times 10 squared.
Yeah. And so they want you to give them back in the form that they were given,
Right.
that you were giving them. Yeah, so just like with the fraction decimal percentage, it helps to turn them all into decimals and then order them from there. Any questions about
that? No, it makes sense. It's just that whole thing of making them, like writing them out as decimals, and that'll make a lot more sense.
And I think it helps to do the whole, 3 backwards or 3 forwards and all that. That's what I always do. Okay. Let's see.
Right. So, which one's that? Sure, Russian doesn't have enough money. 8 weeks. So he wants size 2. So basically, size 2 is £13.50. So £13.50 times 8. And yeah, whatever that is really. 8 times.
He does not have 8 times 50p.
Or 8 times 5 is 40. So add a 0.
Yeah.
And then that's £4. So 8 times 100. 4 goes on top of the 3. So 8 times 3 is 24. That's another 4. 28.
Yeah.
Right, 28. And then 8 times 1 is 8. Plus 2, so that's 10.
Yeah.
108. So it's over £100.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
So they said they wanted us to show it, so we showed it, I
Right.
think.
Yeah.
How about this one?
Okay, I was going to put the wall. Area of the wall is 58. Squared. Work out the smallest number of tens. How it needs to buy. So, is this for like LCM, like lowest common multiple?
No.
No, it's not.
Each
Okay,
tin
well,
of paint covers an area of 12. The wall is 58.
it's basically 12 times 58, and that'll give you the full.
No.
No.
1 tin of paint covers 12.
Right.
The wall is 58 big. How many tins of paint does he need?
So how many 12s go into 58, basically?
Yeah.
So 58 divided by 12.
Mm-hmm.
So 12 goes into 12, 5 is 60, so that's too much. 12 times 4 is 48.
Mm-hmm.
So 4 tens would be enough.
That'd be 10 short, I believe. That'd be 48.
48, so 5 tens then. But there's a room.
So you're correct that he would have 2 left over because 5 12 is 60.
Yeah.
But the point here is the answer isn't. So if you
What's
did
the smallest?
if you did 58 divided by 12 and you got 4.83 recurring,
Yeah.
you can't get 4.5. You can't buy 4.5 tins of paint.
Of course, yeah.
You have to buy 5, and so the answer is 5.
5, right.
And so
Okay.
that comes up quite often in even like bigger questions like 3 mark, 4 mark, where at the end, and you just have to say, okay, you can't buy,
Yeah.
2.5 packets or something, you have to buy 3.
Sure.
Okay, how about this?
Okay, work out the shortest distance by route. Shortest distance. So if I could go from Newville to Southworth, which is 20 kilometers. So that would be 80. 20 plus 60 is 80. Or I could go, what's the other alternative? I could go from Newville to Churches 15 plus 35. So that's 45, 50. Then another 25. That's 75 actually.
Oops. Yeah.
So that's shorter than the first one. So the other alternative is so from Newville to Southworth, from Southworth to Grove. So that's 20. That's 45, and then another 25. 70. So yeah, that's the quickest route. I think.
Okay, so the shortest distance then?
Would be work out the shortest distance by rail. 70 kilometers.
Yeah.
Is that what that's?
That's it. You'll be fine for this type of stuff. How do we do this?
Okay, Jessica thinks of a number, she multiplies it by 3, then subtracts 7. The answer is 5. What number did you think of? So, if the answer is 5, she subtracts 7. So it would be. So if I write this out, I can work it out because it's that whole thing of reversing the signs, isn't it? So we know the answer was 5. Whatever got 5 was from subtracting 7. So it would be adding 7.
Right, yeah.
So the answer is 5. So 7 plus 5, that's 12. 12 divided by 3 is 4. So it's 4.
Well done. And if you're ever stuck, you can let the mystery number be x. She multiplies it by 3. She subtracts 7. She gets 5. And then do what you just did there. So you do the add 7 and divide by 3. And you get 4. Okay. How do we do this?
Okay, so basically we have to make the button the same. So 5 times 3, which would be, so yeah, 5 times 3 is 15. And then 3 times 3 is 9. So 9 on the top for the left one. And then, what is it? 5 times 1 is 5 on the top. And then 9 take away 5, which is 9 take away 5, 4. 4 15s.
Well done. Okay, there. Let's see. Who got the higher total score? You'll be fine with that. Yeah, how about this one?
Okay. 2 meters from A to B. Gym posts. Work out the total number of gym posts from A to B. So every 2 meters there's a traffic cone. So It's basically how many 2s do I get into 60? It's every 3, 30. 2 times 3 is 6. So just from A to B. So 2. 60. I swear I made this. It looks really logical, but my brain's just stuck.
You already said the answer in there.
Really. So is it every 3? No. So 2 times 30 is 60.
Right.
So the question is asking for the total number of traffic cones. So yeah, would it not be 30?
So you have the right idea.
Right.
The little trick to this one though is they put the first cone at A, and so the actual answer is 31. So everyone would, if you do put it every 2 meters, you would put, first one is 2 meters, second is 2 meters, third is 2 meters. But the first one, 2 meters, actually started. So it's like they put one at 0. So they started it at 0.
Right.
And so that's just something to watch out for.
Okay.
We're fine for that. We're fine for that. Okay, let's do this one.
Okay. So it's 8 kilograms sand container. Sand goes into the bags. 3/4 kilograms of sand will be put into each bag. How many bags can be filled with sand in the container? Each bag. 8 kilograms of sand. Kilograms of sand. How many bags will be filled with sand? So basically, it's asking 3/4. Is it 3/4 of 8?
Mm-hmm.
So basically, it's 8 divided by 4, which is 2, and then 2 times 3 is 6.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it.
Yeah.
We're good there. How about this one?
30% of 60, I mean, that's half. So 30% of 60 is 1/2. Would you say 1/2 or
50% is half.
50%? Oh, yeah. Right. So is that the answer? 50%?
No.
30, sorry.
Yeah. Still no. What would it be as a fraction? 30%.
30% would be 30 over 100.
Correct. And make your life simpler. Simplify it.
So they're both in the 10 times table. So it'd be 3 over. No.
Yep.
10 times 3. Yeah, 3/10.
Yeah, so 30% of 60 is equal to 3/10 of 60.
Right. So now 60 divided by 10, 6 times 3 is 9. No, sorry, 6 times 3 is 18.
Yes, well done.
Yeah.
So change it into a thing first. So this one, I think you're fine for these ones. Okay, we'll try one of these.
Okay. The cost. I mean, it would just be A would just be 4 times £7.25.
And then how about B?
How many hours did Tony hire the lawnmower for? All right, so the cost is £50.75. So we know that 4 hours is equal to £29. So basically, what we want to do is find out what 1 hour is, what 1 hour is worth. So 1 hour is no,
1 hour, £7.25.
yeah. So 1 hour is £7.25. So would it be 50 divided by 7.25?
Correct. That just goes in the calculator.
Right. Are these calculator questions that we're doing?
So some of them are, some of them aren't. When like the 3/10 of 60, that's non-calculator. Yeah, so that's fine. So that's fine. So I'm just trying to.
How does it work? Sorry to cut you off. How does it work with the exam paper? So like, would there be the whole exam paper would be specifically non-calculator, or it would only be one or the other? Or?
Yeah, so paper, there's 3 papers. Paper 1 is non-calculator, and then the other 2 are
Right.
calculator. So for first paper, you're not allowed to bring one in, and then the other
Okay.
2, yes, you absolutely need one.
I see.
Okay, let's try this one.
Okay. Right. Right. Choose. Choose one main course. What does that? So basically, it'll be chicken fruit, chicken eclair, chicken trifle, and then it'll be LFLELT.
Yeah, I was just writing them the short way because you were going through it very quickly. Okay, so this type of stuff, Best Buy. Yeah, you're fine for this stuff. How about this one?
Okay, roughly drives 4 hours. Average speed is 30 miles per hour. Drive on Monday. So average speed is 30 miles per hour. So 4 hours. She's driving at 30 miles per hour. She's doing 3 times 400, 120 miles.
Yep. So distance times time. That's fine. Yep. How about this one?
Okay. So 3 times. So that's 9. 9 plus 4. 10, 11, 12. That's 13 times 5, which is.
Bidmas.
Oh, yeah, you got to do the addition first. No, multiplication first, and then addition. So, so it's 20.
Mm-hmm.
9 plus 20 is 29.
Yeah. So you just have to watch out for that. And this is like
Yeah,
this is a Bidmas question. That's what it is. That's what they're testing.
right. I see.
You're gonna be fine for that. You're fine. Yeah, these ones are fine. Okay. How about this one?
Okay, so we're going to use euros, pounds. Right, change 25 pounds into euros. So, uh, so 20 pounds is equal to 25. So it's not giving us the exchange rate. So
So you'd have to kind of just get it yourself from the.
yeah, right. So basically, in order to find out what it is, it's dividing, isn't it? So it's would it be? Oh, I can't remember which way around.
Uh,
So actually, it's going to be pound. We want it to be euros. So um, um 20 pounds. Would it be 20 pounds divided by 25?
you're greatly overcomplicating it.
Really?
What would be £30? How would you get £30 in euros?
30 pounds. Oh yeah, of course. It just goes up. So 10 to 20, you just times 10. So from 20 to, hold on. 10 to 20. So from 10 to 20.
So £30 is the same as £10 plus £20.
Oh, right. Of course. So you just add the two together. So 12.50 plus 25.
Yeah.
And then that gives you
Okay. So that's £30. They asked for 25
25.
pound.
Right. Uh, so if £20 is, so we know that £20 is 25 euros. So you half 12.50
Mm-hmm.
and add it to the 25.
Yeah.
And that should give you
Half of 12.50.
so half of 12 is 6, half of 50 is 25, 6.25.
Yeah. And so your final answer.
Be 11.25.
Yeah. Added on to the other one was 25.
All right. 25. So I'm a bit lost now.
So the other one wasn't €5, it was €25.
It's 25 euros.
So you did 5 plus 6 to get 11, but this is 25.
This is 25, right? Um, so 20 plus 25, 6, 25. 25 plus. So it's 125 added to the hold on, why is this so confusing? So it's 25.
So you said,
Okay,
okay, go on.
so basically we just add this up.
Yep.
So this is the equivalent of, yeah, this is 20 and 5. So that's, yeah. So once we add this up, that's the answer, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So 5, so it's 25, 6, that's 1, and then carry 1 over, it's 31.
That's it. So the first time you were saying 11.25, but it wasn't €5, it was €25. So 11 plus 20.
Of course.
Yeah. Okay. So that one kind of split it up into bits that you need. So if you need £25, 20, and you have to half that to get to 5.
Mm-hmm.
I think, let's see. That's okay. Yeah. That one's okay. That's okay. Okay, how do we do this?
Okay. That's price of pounds, post deposit 15%. So is this a non-calculator question? I take it.
Yeah.
Right. So to find out 10% of £320, you divide by 10. So that would be 10% is equal to 32.
Mm-hmm.
And then half of, well, half of, or 5% would be half of that. So half of 32 is half of 3 is 1.5. So 1.5 plus 1,
Half of
£2. No.
half of 32.
Oh, sorry. Half of 30 is 15. Half of 2 is 1. 30.
Mm-hmm.
So half of 30 is 15. 16.
Yeah. And so how do you get 15%?
So basically, we just add these up.
Yeah.
So 32 and 16. So that's 8, 48 pounds.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, so you're good for those. You're good there. That's the one we did. Okay, how about this one?
Okay, let's reduce. Write the reduction as a percentage of the price. As a percentage. So basically, 260 pounds, take away 39 pounds, gives us the money, like the difference in money.
Yeah.
And then to make it as a percentage, you times it by 100.
Right. But I think so that would be the remainder as a percentage. They just wanted the reduction as a percentage.
All right. So So it would be 260 divided by £39 times 100.
All the way around.
Other way around.
39 over 260
Right,
times 100. Yeah, and you get that.
right,
Yeah, so that's it as a fraction, and then you
right.
get it as a. So these ones are okay. Okay. Yeah. It's kind of shape. Yeah, that's kind of shape.
Right.
Those ones. Yeah. Okay, how do we do this?
Okay, so 200. So we 0.75 3/4 is a fraction.
Yes.
So it's basically 200 divided by 4
Yeah, and then?
times the top.
Yeah, okay. Times 3, and then you get your answer. Okay, how about this one?
What fraction should be shaded? Like your fraction that's simplified. So 5 across, 4 down, so it's 20 total. 20. So it's 12 out of 20. Fraction is 12 out of 20. Right, to simplify that, both are in the times table. So 6 over 10. And then you can be simplified further. Um, 3 over 5.
Well done. It's fine, so we're good there. Okay, how about this one?
Okay, power chart. So, what fraction of the boasted megamoles get? We know that it has to add up, all the angles have to add up to 360. So, 100 150 divided by 2. We know that like angles there currently add up to 150. So we've got 150 left. No, what am I talking about? 150, 360 take away 150. And then
Yep.
whatever the answer is, you divide it by 2.
Why would you divide it by 2?
Actually, no, that's wrong because that's a right angle. This one's 90.
Yeah. So how could you get?
So what is the question? So the question is saying what fraction of the roasted megamoles get. So if we know that George and Alex's adds up to 150,
So.
150 plus 90, 150 plus 90, that's 240.
Right.
So that adds up to 240, and then 360 take away 240.
Yeah.
So that's
120.
120. Yeah.
They wanted a fraction.
But they want a fraction. Yeah. So Um,
So it'll be like 120 out of.
120 out of 360.
Yep.
Is that the answer?
Yep. And you could simplify it. It simplifies down to a third, but they didn't ask you to.
Right.
Okay, how about...
Work out the total number of votes the four candidates got. So Ellen got 4,500. Um, I think you have to divide, so it's 360. With pie chart questions, then you have to know the multiplier or something. And then
well, what fraction of the votes did Ellen get?
So we're looking at it in terms of degree, like the angle. So
Yeah.
Ellen got
So
90.
Yeah.
90 out of 360.
Yeah. And so what fraction is that, do you know, of the total?
90 out of 360. 360.
So that's a quarter.
It's a quarter, right?
And so she got a quarter of the votes. How would you find the total votes? Sorry, I'm just getting a call. A sec.
No worries.
Hello? Hello? Hiya. Okay, I'm just finishing with a student, so I won't be able to see. All right, thanks, Sandra. Bye. Sorry.
Yes.
So one
Totally.
quarter,
Right.
1/4 of the total is 4,500. And so how do you get the total?
90 over 360 equals to 1/4.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So if we know that it's 120, so what's 120 out of 360?
No.
No.
So a quarter of the total is 4,500.
Right.
You have to get the total.
Quarter.
What would be half of the total?
Half of the total. So,
A quarter of the total is 4,500.
it would be 4,500 times a half.
Well, it would be getting bigger.
Yeah.
A half is double a quarter.
Uh,
So this 1/4 is 4,500.
right. Um,
And so how would you find the total, or how would you find half?
so half of 4,500 would be 2,250.
Nah, forget half then. So she got a quarter of the votes. A quarter of the total is 4,500. How would you get the total?
So we've got three. It's 3 out of 4 left. 3/4 left. So
Yeah.
would it be 4,500 times 3/4?
It would be times 4. So 1/4 is 4,500. So the total would be 4/4. Because we don't want. Well, I suppose you could find 3/4 and then add it on.
Right.
But yeah, so it's going to be 18,000 in total.
But I don't understand that. Doesn't that expand it even more? Because the 4,500, those votes are already accounted for. Wouldn't it be an extra 3? There's 3 remaining.
So you would have to. So then you'd have to have an extra step of adding it on. I think that's what you're doing.
Right.
So what is half of 18,000?
Well, half of 18 is 9.
And
So
then
that's
and then half
9.
of that.
Half of 9 is 4.5.
Yeah. And so half of a half is a quarter.
Right.
So you get 4,500, and so a quarter of 18,000 is 4,500.
Right. Okay.
And so to work in reverse, instead of divide by 4, you times by 4.
Right. I see.
Or you could have gotten 3/4 and then done your answer plus 4,500.
Right.
Let me just see. We got most of it. What is this one? So
Okay.
blue pencils in the box. No. We better leave it. Yeah, I'll pick it up next time. So let's see. So 7, 140. So we got over halfway.
Right.
Yeah. How was that for you, Pierre?
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, I feel like I'm covering ground quite well. That last one I found very tricky.
So yeah, well, it's what I'm trying to do is just expose you to, because like it's not the thing itself isn't difficult. It's just
Right.
getting the idea of it, and so I'm trying to just expose you to it at least once, and then we can kind of figure out where what you're already good at and skip those, and then where your weaknesses are and
Sure.
focus on those.
Right. Cool.
Yeah. Any questions for me in general?
No. It's happy with the way things are going. Just want to keep this momentum really, and yeah, should be fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well done, Pierre. You did great. I look forward to chatting
Thanks.
again. Is it tomorrow?
Hold on. Tomorrow's
No,
is
sorry,
today.
Tuesday, isn't it?
Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday. Well,
Tuesday.
have a good Easter. Enjoy your Easter.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah, cool. Okay. Well, I'll see you.